What is going on, Tactical Gamers? It's Tacty. Now, coming off of the free weekend for Sandstorm and the new big update and the sales that are going on right now, a lot of you guys playing Sandstorm are probably newbies. You've probably just recently picked it up. A lot of you obviously have gone back to playing it like I have, and that's a great thing. The game is in a really good state. But with all you newbies, if you're anything like me, you came from casual shooters and you really weren't expecting the hardcore experience like Insurgency. So there's a lot of things that you have to learn. There's a lot of things you have to change about your gameplay compared to games like Call of Duty or Ironside or whatever else you play. So to help you guys out, I decided I'm going to make a Bootcamp series. So this is a first in a series of videos that just kind of give you tips and tricks, how to play the game, how to increase your skill, and what to expect from the game, really. So this is video 1, just the basics. If you like the video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe, obviously. Never going to turn those down. And with all that being said, let's get into it. Alright, first let's start off with the classes. Different classes have different weapons. You choose one of these classes based on what you want your role to be. Each class, other than the Rifleman, only allows a limited number of players to choose them. The most important class in objective play is Commander and Observer. You need these two to stick together. The Commander determines where to place the strikes, and the Observer calls it in on the radio. This little meter down here shows you how close you are to each other. If you're the Observer, it's your duty to stay close to your Commander. So don't pick this class if you're just planning on running recklessly into the point and dying. If you do get lost in the battlefield, take a look around and you should see the Commander symbol somewhere. As the Commander, you take out the binoculars to place a strike. Hit J by default in order to determine which strike you want to use. If you're attacking an objective, a smoke barrage can be very useful, especially if there's not a lot of cover when approaching the objective. Like I said, the Rifleman class has nothing special, just your typical lad going into places stirring up trouble with his assault rifle. The Breacher is a close quarters kind of guy, so submachine guns with very little recoil and shotguns are all in your toy box, as well as a few explosives. The Gunner has a bit more chunky weapons that are great for suppressive fire. Demolition experts get the big booms, lots of explosives for them. The Advisor gets some more unique weapons that none of the other classes get. And the Marksman, of course, gets the sniper rifle. Imagine that. Now when you're selecting your class, keep an eye on your weight up in the top left here. This determines how fast you move on the battlefield. If you're good at not getting anywhere quick, carry more stuff. If you're more of a run and gun kind of player, then I would go lighter. Now there are several different game modes to choose from. There's Push, where a team has to attack one objective at a time before they can move on to the next objective, while the other team is on defense and the goal is to hold back the enemies. Frontline is somewhat like a tug of war where you're trying to push each other back and forth and trying to capture objectives. The goal is to get to the enemy's final objective. The battle lines are constantly shifting. Now Firefight is a constant battle for multiple locations around the map where you can only respawn if your team captures an objective. Domination is more of a casual type of mode that allows you to respawn quickly when you're trying to capture specific objective locations. Again, this is in other games, so you've probably played it. Regardless of your choice, do everyone a favor and play the objective. Okay, hopping into a match, there are a few things you'll want to know. First and foremost, the gunplay. Now by default, hit X to change your rate of fire to single fire, especially if you're shooting from a distance. This can be much more effective than automatic fire. The recoil in this game, as you might have noticed, is much more difficult to control than games like Call of Duty. Use this when tactically necessary. I tend to switch to automatic fire when I'm going into buildings or going into close quarter situations, and keep it on single fire when I'm approaching the objectives from far away. Just something to mentally be aware of. Along those lines, there are two types of reloads, a regular reload and a quick reload. It does save you a little bit of time to quick reload, however, if you still got some bullets in that magazine that you just took out, you're going to lose all those bullets. The regular reload saves the extra bullets in that mag. However, if you're running low on mags, you can find a downed soldier with a gun next to him and pick up his mags if that mag fits your weapon. So that's a decent but time-consuming way to restock. Next thing to note is you're not ever going to be Peyton Manning in this game. Grenades only go so far. Aim about 45 degrees to get the best length in your throws. Also, don't sleep on those smoke grenades. If you're not a commander and you need to cover your approach, a couple of these bad boys will be your own little smoke barrage and be just as effective. Just remember, with all grenades, you've got to take some time to switch to these. It's not going to be an instant grenade button like some games. So make sure you've got the time. Next are sounds. Sounds are crucial in this game. Make sure you're listening very closely for enemy footsteps to give away their position. You can see your teammates' identifiers through walls, so if you hear the sound of footsteps in the grass and don't see a friendly diamond, probably a baddie. Next, if you're on offense or defense, flanking can be a golden thing. If most of your team is trying to get to an objective or defend objective using a single route, maybe go around the outside and take a bit longer so you can sneak your way up to the enemies from the side. If you play your cards right, you might get a nice lineup just like this. Enjoy! To go along with both of those though, the crouch walk. This will keep your footsteps as quiet as possible. Sure, you'll be much slower, so I would definitely run between cover, but when you're entering buildings or think your enemy's going to be around the corner, get low. Going prone is also very effective. You're going to be harder to spot and recognize as a living, breathing soldier because you'll blend in with the dead people on the ground, and you're also going to be a smaller target most of the time, depending on the angle anyway. A little deception can really go a long way. And the final thing here is communicate with your team. You have a mic for a reason. This game is a tactical game and has a low TTK. Coordinate with your team over the mic and call out enemies. This game has somewhat of a ping system. You can call out enemies across the map. It'll show up on your compass down here. If you can't see your compass at the moment, hit the control key and it'll pop it out. If you spot an enemy, use the comms menu. You can also use this to communicate other things on your team, so be a team player. Alright guys, that pretty much wraps up this video. Again, if you liked it, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you want to know. Tell me what kind of video you want me to make to maybe increase your skill and knowledge in this game. Other than that, guys, I'll see you all on the battlefield. Take care.